rolling.
Action.
What got you started in outdoor recreation?
So from a young age, hold on, let me start that over because I fucked up. Getting started in outdoor recreation started when I was young. I shouldn't have said started twice. Getting into outdoor recreation started when I was young. I was doing Boy Scouts and pretty curious about, getting outdoors and hiking and climbing and stuff. And so from, my earliest days that I can really remember, I was going to just scout meetings mostly, but, kind of doing stuff with a large group of people. And I feel like that's kind of what recreation is nowadays. It's not so much that you're necessarily getting outdoors and doing stuff, but that you're around a whole bunch of people kind of all interested in the same kind of thing. And for us, the Boy Scouts, it was always camping and merit badges and stuff, but it was still, a group of people not doing school or not, kind of the normal run-of-the-mill stuff. So I was always really interested in that and kind of wanted to keep doing that as I got older.
How did you get into Boy Scouts?
My dad did Boy Scouts.
Stop. Repeat the question.
Oh, yeah. So Boy Scouts, I got into Boy Scouts because my dad was in it when he was young, and he never got his Eagle Scout, so he was really, I guess, enthusiastic about us getting ours, determined. So he pushed me and my brother to get our Eagle Scout, and having a brother in it made it a lot easier kind of to progress through it, to see somebody a little older than me kind of doing all this stuff before I did. Made me really want to finish it, and that's really why I pursued the whole Boy Scout, Eagle Scout thing.
Did you continue to pursue recreation once you were out of Boy Scouts?
Yeah, so, hold on. So once I left Boy Scouts, continuing in recreation was pretty easy. I already had most of the equipment, most of the stuff, backpacks, shoes, I don't know, a pocket knife, headlamp, the normal stuff you need to get outdoors to kind of get started. So since I had the equipment, it made it a lot easier for my friends and I to kind of continue, hiking or camping or doing whatever it was, and it, opened these doors into other recreational activities like climbing and kayaking that I do so much more now, because I was kind of out in that environment, meeting those kinds of people who already do sports like that. So it was very easy to kind of continue into recreation and also progress into other forms of recreation, especially outdoors.
I was looking for you to tell me that you got a degree in it, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can continue.
It's okay, I got it. So do you have any formal training in the recreation field?
I'm still not going to mention my college thing, it'll just be funny. So as far as formal training goes, yeah, I went to college for it and got my degree in recreation, and specifically in a concentration of outdoor experiential education, which, really was right up my alley and kind of what I'd been doing my whole life when I was younger. And, doing the Boy Scout thing, a lot of it was about teaching, was about merit badges and kind of helping your fellow scout, do the same stuff you were. So it made it very easy to kind of fall into this recreation management program where it's all about, kind of teaching recreation to people who don't normally do it or are looking to do more of it, which is what I love, getting people outdoors or getting people to do stuff that they're not necessarily comfortable with, but in a safe fashion. Yeah, is it fucking recording?
We might have had the laptop in like half of this.
Fucking killing me. Just crop in. I'm not restarting it. Just zoom in and do a face.
Okay.
But yeah, put the fucking laptop down. Stop crossing your legs.
Quit cursing. This entire thing, unedited, is going on my website.
Why unedited?
Because she wants to see the unedited
What,
part
both?
first.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Take it back a little bit.
Yeah, just tone it down a little. Okay, so we talked about how you got into it, we talked about that. Do you have any certifications relating to the outdoors?
Yeah, as the recreation management program at App State, where I got my degree, is an accredited program. So I guess that is one a form of accreditation. What's the word again?
Okay, we're gonna do this again because you didn't really repeat the question.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so wait, what did I even ask? Oh, do you have any
certifications?
Do you have any certifications in outdoor recreation?
So as far as certifications go, I do have a lot, and I think most people that are in the profession. Because don't you have been mama's getting angry at you?
I hope he hasn't been doing that the whole time. I didn't even notice.
Yes. I don't think he's gonna stop.
Well, just give it to me then. Sorry, buddy.
Oh, don't put it on my desk. It's gross and slimy.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay, we're gonna do that again. So, do you have any certifications in outdoor recreation?
As far as certifications go, yes. Most people in the profession have many certifications, just because it kind of comes with, what we need to do with people and what we're trying to do with people. A lot of them being for medical purposes. We want CPR and like first responder, and especially a lot of that in the wilderness, kind of pathway. But as far as other certifications go, the school program at App State is an accredited program, so that gives my degree a little more kind of significance when applying for jobs, which is pretty good. And that's about it. There are other certifications you can get for wilderness therapy, things like that. And as far as, kind of once you get into a specific professional pathway, like being a raft guide, for example, you need your swiftwater rescue, you need a lot of first aid stuff. And so each of these jobs, whenever we are applying for new jobs, we're going to be looking for certifications that we need to have in order to be proficient.
Okay. What would you suggest somebody who is looking to get into outdoor recreation for kind of the first time? How would they go about that?
If you wanted to get into recreation, I think it's pretty simple. Especially here at colleges, you can go, to the rock wall all day long, or go over to, whatever recreation center you have on your campus, and they're always doing some kind of program where they take students hiking or climbing or something along those lines, which is amazing. If your college doesn't have that sort of thing, or you're, out of college, look around locally if there are any rock walls. I'm talking about climbing a lot because it seems to be pretty easy to get into because it is so kind of mainstream nowadays. As far as kayaking goes, that can be a little more expensive just to try and do it on your own. A lot of these sports, my number one recommendation would be to find somebody who does it and go with them. Have them do it with you, because they'll have extra gear. We all accumulate so much gear while doing these kind of activities. I have 5 or 6 fly fishing poles, of which I use one. So I've got plenty of stuff to kind of take people with me, and I love doing that. So if you know anybody who's kind of in that kind of recreation mindset where they go biking every day or whatever it is, swimming, and you want to try it out, ask them. They're more than happy to take you along. There are very few people in the world, especially few people who recreate commonly, that are going to say no or be jerks about the whole thing. So yeah, ask around, ask friends, family, Facebook. There are a million Facebook groups for different recreational activities, especially for each local area. It's good stuff. You should be able to find somebody fairly easily. But yeah, go with somebody.
Okay. Have you ever been in a scary or extra challenging situation outdoors?
Extra challenging outdoor situation is a strange concept, because most of the time if you're getting outdoors, you're going to be putting yourself in challenging situations purposefully, and that's the idea. And there's this whole concept of perceived risk versus actual risk. So when you're rock climbing, there's a lot of perceived risk. You're getting kind of out of your normal comfort zone. You're going into rock walls where we're not really meant to be 100 feet up in the air. And that can be very scary, but as long as you're doing everything right, there's little to no actual risk. It is all perceived. It is all kind of about that feeling you get when you're up there about being scared, not that you're actually in any danger. There have been situations where someone gets stuck with a old carabiner on a wall and they're unable to get themselves down. So yes, there are those situations, and especially through the school and kind of training, there are definitely ways to alleviate those scary situations. But you need to be prepared for them. That's why I say go with somebody who kind of knows what they're doing out and outdoors. They will definitely be able to kind of help you in those situations. And your first time whitewater kayaking, like, it's going to be scary. Even if you're doing class 1 or 2 or something, it's going to be different. You're not going to be comfortable being strapped into a boat, knowing you might flip over at any moment. So go with somebody who knows what they're doing and can kind of take out the real risk and allow you to have more of this perceived risk where you're feeling scared but you're not actually in any danger.
Okay. So you've talked about all these different outdoor activities, but which activity is your favorite?
My favorite outdoor activity is a tough question. I really like just about anything that gets me into nature and into kind of being away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life, being away from needing to worry about paying rent or doing schoolwork or whatever it is, and being able to get outdoors and kind of forget about that. There's this concept of flow in recreation, and I'm sure you've heard the word a million times, but as far as flow goes in a professional recreation sense, there's a moment where you're doing something challenging enough that it's really engaging to the brain and you're really kind of fully focused on it, but not so challenging that you're worried about all the dangers and scary things that could happen. So there's a nice sweet spot right in the middle, and that's called flow, and it's when you're so engaged in whatever you're doing, and this could be anything, chess, computer games, but really getting outdoor makes it happen because of all the perceived risk. But when
Okay, I can just cut it right after that last. You guys gotta go somewhere else.
no, to take it from them. Leave it. Leave it. Is it still recording?
Yes, it's still recording.
Alright, you ready?
Okay,
I'll finish my thought.
Well, okay, sure.
Okay, never mind, I won't. I guess I don't remember where I'm at.
Okay. Do you have any idols in outdoor recreation? Anybody you look up to or think is doing super cool stuff?
As far as idols in recreation, I have idols that are professionals in the sports that they do, and those are really cool. This guy Alex Honnold is doing great stuff, kind of free climbing stuff, and that's horribly scary, but in his mind he's alleviated all the actual risk, and it's all perceived risk, and if he's doing exactly what he needs to be doing and he's focusing and he's in this flow state, he should be fine doing everything he's doing, but he still does really kind of horrifying stuff, not climbing with a rope. A few other sports I really like. Kelly Slater is doing amazing things nowadays in surfing with building surf ranches, which are inland lakes, which they drag a snowplow up and down and make waves. And it's amazing to see that, for the longest time we thought there was a limited amount of space in the ocean, and there is. Lineups get crowded, a ton of people are out there. The recreation of that sport is crazy, but for him to be able to kind of create new lineups and create more space for people is awesome. And to see somebody take their preferred form of recreation and go that far with it and do something really amazing is very cool to see. This guy Rob Deerdeck has bought stock in every company he's ever ridden for, and because of it has made himself a millionaire, billionaire. I don't know what he is, but making tons of money doing whatever he wants. And it's amazing to see people kind of in recreation do, something so passionately that they end up, where these guys are at.
Okay. What would your ideal job be?
As far as my ideal job is probably an elusive thing. I'm not even sure I know what it is. Currently, I work in the private sector at a country club, planning activities, dinner trips, even, jet skiing trips, just outdoors recreation, along with kind of events for them. And I love that. It's a kind of good time to see, especially these ladies that are 60, 70 plus, kind of get outdoors and, have fun, even if we're just walking around Grandfather Mountain. But I don't think I want to do that my whole life. It's not a bad thing, and kind of anything in recreation is a ton of fun. There's people who have a real love life for wilderness therapy, taking kids out into the woods and, kind of showing them, what life's about. And that is an amazing thing, but I don't think I could see myself doing it. That it's a lot of responsibility, it's a lot of kind of one-on-one time, and, really dealing with problems that we all have. So I would like to see myself, have a surf ranch like Kelly Slater or the Fantasy Factory like Rob Deerdeck, and just be able to kind of provide a service for, people looking to get into the sport. I'd love to teach people, like, how to rock climb, whatever it is. Rock Dimensions is doing really cool stuff. But at some point, it's probably me having a rafting company or something along those lines, and it really being able to kind of run on its own, but still being able to go every day and kind of teach people how to rock climb and get out and rock climb on my own and do some really cool stuff.
Okay. Is there anything you'd like to leave with our viewers in regards to outdoor recreation?
Yeah, so before I go, I guess I'd like to just say is, I didn't like how that sounded. Before I go, I'd like to just say, if you want to recreate, find people, find somebody who likes to do it, or, forget that, just go out and do it anyways. It's, it's amazing what kind of forgetting about day-to-day life can be, and getting outside and doing something that really engages your whole body and your whole mind and really kind of zones you in, can do for you, and can, really be meditation for the soul. And don't let anybody tell you, like, oh, it's too expensive to do that, go to Regear or something. You can find cheap stuff, you can find secondhand stuff, you can find people who will lend you stuff, make it happen, get outside, do something.
Alrighty. Thank you.